After school started, harassing text messages were sent to my phone every day. The content became more and more explicit with each message. Your legs are slender and long, just right to wrap around my waist. Your lips are soft and sweet, perfect for deep kisses. Your waist is fair, perfect for leaving my marks on. I blocked and deleted them many times. Suddenly, a virus software appeared on my phone. Every time I had to input the keyword husband to exit the content he sent. To catch this pervert, I decided to take a risk and investigate clearly. Unexpectedly, this person turned out to be my best brother. But didn't he say he liked girls? Chapter 1. Baby, my pants are dirty. Image JPG, it's all you're doing. Baby, what should I do? Miss you so much, especially miss you. It was that pervert again. Knowing I liked guys, he changed numbers one after another to harass me. Now he was talking dirty and sending photos. It was truly disgusting. For the first time, I couldn't help but curse at him. Damn pervert, stay away from me, or I'll call the police. Buzz buzz, baby, I am a pervert. Will you be with me? Baby, baby, baby. I had never seen such a shameless person. Damn pervert, are you worthy of touching me? I'd rather be with a dog than with you. Get lost. After sending it, I immediately blocked and deleted him. With a fling of my hand, I accidentally knocked over the thermos on the table. Unluckily, half a cup of milk inside spilled all over my pants. The milk was still warm, and I subconsciously shook my crotch. What are you doing so sneakily? Suddenly, heat approached my ear, and Brant appeared, blocking me in the chair. I was startled, my hands covering my crotch tightly. No, nothing. Brant wasn't wearing a shirt. His body was covered in sweat, likely having just returned from the basketball court. His gaze fell on the place covered by my hands. A large wet patch. It was hard not to let people misunderstand. Sure enough, he raised an eyebrow. Doing something bad, huh? My face turned completely red instantly, my hands waving vigorously. It's not what you think. Looking up, I saw his prominent Adam's apple, and further down were his solid 8-pack abs. My fingers and tongue tip were a bit uncontrollable. I looked into his eyes aggrievedly. My voice unconsciously softened. Don't talk nonsense. I told you not to look at me with that kind of gaze. Brant frowned, reached out to cover my eyes, and put away his joking tone. His voice became a bit cold. Next time do it in your own bed, not here. You look like a pervert. What? Pervert? I'm a pervert just because I accidentally spilled milk? Then wouldn't the fact that I'm still thinking about him in my heart make me a super big pervert? I slapped his hand away and shouted, pretending to be calm. I told you it's not that. Brant is my childhood friend. A standard for good youth. Good character, good figure, good grades, good popularity. I like him, but he doesn't know. If he knew, he would definitely run away fast. Being misunderstood by him made me feel a bit terrible inside. Sorry. He probably realized his words were too harsh and started to apologize. Resolving physiological needs isn't perverted, but the dorm is a public space. Doing this is a bit disrespectful to your roommate. The dorm is just me and him. My wet pants are disrespectful to him. Felt like punching cotton. Hee, falling for a straight guy is truly my calamity. Falling for the straight guy, Brant, made me so angry I wanted to laugh. Say whatever you want. Angry? I waved my hand and smiled reluctantly. No. Brant lifted my chin. Then why are your eyes red? Can't I have sand in my eyes? Damn straight guy. You get ugly when you're angry, you. Humph. Couldn't hold it back anymore. None of your business. Throwing off his hand, I climbed onto my bed angrily and took off my wet pants. Brant looked confused, wanting to say something but stopping, then slammed the bathroom door shut. Buzz buzz. My phone vibrated 3 times in a row. Opening it, I saw it was that pervert again. I frowned. He was endless. You smell so good, I really like it. Especially the back of your head, white as jade. If there were a gland, I really want to bite down, mark you thoroughly, so that every time you can only cry and look for me, wanting me to kiss you and love you. Your lips too, shiny and sexy, making me unable to stop wanting to bully you. Every time I see you, I want to swallow you into my mouth. Do you know what I'm doing right now? I'm thinking of you. Seeing the last few words, I almost exploded with anger. The next second, 2 more messages popped up in the chat box. Are you angry? As read, right? Are you looking at the messages I sent with grievances? What should I do? You like this really make me want to bully you. So soft, able to cry, able to beg for mercy. Damn pervert, damn pervert. The sound of water in the bathroom was pattering. I looked over with red eyes. If only the person inside was Brant. Looking down again, a visually impactful photo popped up. I gritted my teeth, almost smashing the phone. That straight guy Brant wouldn't be this loose. Damn pervert. Stinking hooligan. Useless thing. Coward hiding online. Come out for a duel if you have the guts. See if I don't beat you to death. Buzz buzz. I am a perverted hooligan. Didn't you know that long ago? How do you know I'm useless if you haven't tried? I am your coward. You can beat me anytime you want. I will spoil you and won't fight back. What kind of person is this? Who is your baby, you psycho? Endless, is it? If you can't take it, find a place to resolve it yourself. Don't harass me every day like a sick person. Get lost. After sending, I blocked and deleted again, and my brain finally quieted down, but the sound of water in the bathroom became clearer and clearer. The pervert's abs definitely weren't as solid as Brant's. What are you thinking, Casper? It's all Brant's fault. Covering my head, I decided to ignore him for the rest of the afternoon. Chapter 2. Brant was truly a typical straight guy. When I ignored him, he really didn't come to coax me. For the entire afternoon, he didn't pay any attention to me. I was so angry I didn't even eat dinner with him. Returning to the dorm, I washed up early and lay down with my back to him. In the middle of the night, a pair of hands suddenly wrapped around my waist. It was the familiar scent of his soap. The hallway light filtered in through the screen window on the door. I turned my head, and Brant's handsome face magnified before my eyes. I couldn't help but roll my eyes. No need to think. He definitely forgot to go back to his own bed after using the bathroom again. Our distance was so close that with just one more centimeter, I could kiss the lips I had been longing for. I struggled internally, restraining myself and leaning my head back slightly. He called me a pervert and said I was ugly during the day. We were still in a cold war. I kicked him hard, but he didn't move an inch. There were other people in the dorm. They had all returned because there were classes tomorrow morning. I leaned close to Brant's ear and kissed it lightly. Anyway, it was his mouth that made the mistake, nothing to do with his ear. Get up. Go back to your own bed to sleep. Sorry, it's my fault. Don't be mad at me, okay? Brant suddenly hugged me very tightly. My legs were entangled by his, and his breath fell on my face. I hurriedly looked only to find Brant's eyes closed. He seemed not to have woken up. Scared me to death. I thought my stolen kiss was discovered. Looking at this handsome face in front of me, my face was so red I was about to drool. Go away. My hand unconsciously touched his solid abs. Brant nuzzled my neck. Not going. My eyes widened, and I didn't even dare to breathe too loudly, afraid of waking him up. Go, hurry up and go. I was still pretending to be angry. At this moment, my lips felt a bit dry. I licked them, but they still felt dry. Unexpectedly, Brant raised his chin and leaned in, kissing me lightly, his tone very gentle. My heartbeat was about to explode. No, I want to sleep with baby. So sleepy. Good night, baby. My brain went blank for a second, and my heart felt like it smashed heavily onto the ground, shattering. My first kiss was gone, and Brant called me baby. My whole body stiffened. Who did he mistake me for? When we got up the next morning, the roommates were not surprised to see Brant getting out of my bed. I looked at him resentfully, but Brant walked out as if nothing happened. It was as if the person who gave me the cold shoulder yesterday afternoon wasn't him, and the one who kissed me last night wasn't him either. I was furious. The roommates went to save seats first. I dawdled for a long time before getting myself ready. I turned on my phone to check the morning class schedule, but a chat interface popped up directly. BT. Wifey's legs are long and slender, just right for hooking around hubby's waist. BT. Wifey's lips are so soft and sweet, perfect for deep kisses. BT. Wifey's waist is so white, perfect for hubby to leave teeth marks on. BT. Like wifey so much, wanna be wifey's puppy for a lifetime. It was that pervert again. I tried to exit. No reaction. I tried to exit again. Still no reaction. Messages kept coming in one after another. BT. Can't wifey exit? Haha, this is a software hubby customized specially for baby. Every time baby picks up the phone, you'll see hubby's care for you. Is baby dying of happiness? I'm dying of happiness too. BT. Wifey. Why don't you reply to hubby's message? Are you as happy as hubby? Wow, good heavens. How can there be such a self-absorbed person in the world? I fiddled with it for a few minutes but still couldn't exit. Turning off the phone was useless too. Change phones? No money. I gritted my teeth and replied, baby, how can I exit this software? The other side replied instantly, BT. BT. Wifey, you finally replied to me. BT. I waited for you until my heart broke. BT. Need wifey to call me hubby once to coax me. I really wanted to crawl through the internet cable and beat this pervert to death. Baby. I said, what do you want me to do to exit this software? BT, call me hubby. Isn't this blatantly humiliating people? I lowered my head and pressed the voice key. Baby, hubby. Still no reaction. I couldn't exit at all. I typed furiously. Baby. You lied to me. The other side replied. BT, typing is fine. I didn't set up voice recognition. BT, if wifey likes it, I'll add it later. Like your big head ghost. I sent the word hubby over and immediately clicked the exit button in the upper right corner. Finally exited. Seeing that strange software on the desktop, I deleted it immediately. Milk. Drinking milk morning, noon, and night was my habit, and Brant would occasionally heat it for me. Except for yesterday during the Cold War. My eyes lit up. So he didn't leave but went to heat milk for me. In that moment I was so happy I almost thought, even if I have to be his side piece, it's fine. I took the milk naturally, drank 2 mouthfuls and handed it back to him. He frowned. Finish it. I shook my head and lifted the clothes on my stomach. If I drink too much, I'll get a belly. Can you drink the rest? Brant glanced at me, his eyes dark and heavy, carrying some emotions I couldn't understand. All right, I'll drink it. On the way to class, Brant suddenly spoke. What do you do if the person you like doesn't like you back? My breath trembled slightly, my eyes stinging with discomfort. He really had someone he liked. I pretended not to hear. Brant sighed. Forget it. You have 0 experience yourself. How could you know? Don't say that. I forced a smile. Although I had no dating experience, my ability to cause trouble was top-notch. I stopped walking and started spouting nonsense solemnly. Chasing someone requires techniques too, like a friend I know, he succeeded by pestering relentlessly to get his crush. Thick skin is the way to go. I patted my chest and guaranteed. Trust me, as long as you pester relentlessly and use a bit of force when necessary, anyone in this situation would obediently give in. Haha. Books also say this method works well. I kicked him in the calf. The person you like should be the same. You can try it. Brant hissed in pain, looking at me with a burning gaze. Does it really work? I nodded vigorously and slapped his shoulder. It works, of course it works. But in my heart I thought, this method only works on me. On others, haha, they'll hate you to death. All right. Brant rubbed his shoulder and walked into the classroom half believing. Chapter 3. I thought deleting the app would mean saying goodbye to that pervert. Unexpectedly, as soon as he sent a message, the deleted app would reappear on my desktop. He became more and more excessive. At first, it was just verbal harassment, but later he actually started sending videos. Apps, pecs. My phone was about to turn into a player for indecent content. He was treating my place like a repository for pornographic photos. And every time after I cursed him out, I still had to call him hubby to exit this damn app. It was so suffocating. Thinking of the nude photo I accidentally clicked on last time, my eyeballs nearly popped out. But sharp-eyed as I was, I noticed a mole on his thigh, in a position very similar to Brant's. But Brant wouldn't be this perverted. He wouldn't say such explicit dirty talk, nor would he send those kinds of photos. He had someone he liked. But what if it was him? My eyes rolled as I planned to test him out. Speaking of which, Brant had been glued to his broken phone every day these past few days. He complained to me a few times, saying the person he liked always loved to scold him. He even asked if the method I taught him wasn't working. Working? Yeah, right. I grinned and said, it's too early to tell. Persist for a month and you'll definitely catch them. But in my heart, I thought, imagine someone you don't like pestering you relentlessly every day. How would you feel? You'd definitely hide far away. He's so good. The person Brant likes is so hard to chase. There were no classes today. Brant was going to the library to fiddle with his computer. This was a good day to expose him. I picked up a BL novel covered with a jacket of the Little Prince and followed behind him. My BL novel was almost worn out from reading, and Brant was still tinkering with his computer. I couldn't help but speak up. Brant, come a little closer. I want to tell you something. What's up? Brant leaned sideways toward me, his eyes shining as he looked at me. Hee hee, not in vain have I disguised myself as a straight guy lurking for so long. It's just that I met a pervert who harasses me every day. Hidden in Brant's deep eyes was a look of inquiry. Really? I swore to him. Call the police and arrest him. Let the police officers sanction him. I stared tightly at Brant. He didn't seem to have anything wrong with him, except for the disbelief in his eyes. Does he think no one would chase me? Or tell me his name, and I'll go beat him up for you. Beat him until even his parents won't recognize him. He was a black belt in Taekwondo. Beating up a pervert would definitely be no problem. But the problem was, I didn't know who that pervert was. I took out my phone and shoved it in front of him. Here, it's this pervert. Brant lowered his eyes to look at me, his gaze gradually becoming obscure. I am the pervert? I widened my eyes, a bit excited. You admitted it. The person who has been sending me harassing messages all along is you. I knew those pecs looked so solid, and that mole so sexy. Brant hesitated to speak. Is there a possibility that you are the pervert? Brant flipped the phone onto my face. The screen pressed against the tip of my nose, and his photo suddenly magnified before my eyes. My toes were curling. I really wanted to find a crack in the ground to crawl into and hide. Hand slipped, haha. I forced a dry laugh, my face hot enough to fry an egg, fingers trembling uncontrollably. I lost a game last week and was forced to change my wallpaper. Why isn't that broken app moving? Change it back quickly. Damn, the phone screen went black. Brant's look at me became even stranger. Afraid he would misunderstand, I hurriedly looked up to explain. I really didn't mean anything else. Read too many novels and got your brain confused? Brant grabbed the computer on the table and walked away without looking back. Humph. A dog's mouth can't spit out ivory. My charging cable hadn't arrived yet, so I'd been using his. I seemed to have seen his phone running low on battery just now too. Brant went back to the dorm. I turned and went into the supermarket to rent a power bank. As soon as the phone turned on, the pervert's message popped up. BT. If wifey dares to show the chat history to others, hubby will send your photos out. BT video. Clicking it open, it was a video of me secretly filmed while sleeping, wearing absolutely nothing. I was so angry I clenched my fists. Baby, when was this taken? BT, while you were sleeping. Baby, damn pervert. If I find out who you are, I'll tear you apart and feed you to the dogs. BT, wifey belongs to me from head to toe. Can't show others. I belong to wifey too. If you're angry I filmed you, next time we meet I'll strip naked and let you film me. Okay. Baby, who wants to see you? Psycho. Pervert. Get lost. I hate you to death. Stay away from me. After cursing, I still had to call him hubby before exiting. Really, that mole on his thigh was like a rat dropping. Ugly and an eyesore. On a day without classes, the roommates were unexpectedly all there, wearing headphones and playing games. I swallowed my words, smiling and nodding at them. Seeing Brant take clothes into the bathroom, I followed him in with small steps and even locked the door. Outside, the gamers whispered, Casper pissed Brant off again. Don't worry, Brant spoils him so much. They'll definitely make up when they come out later. Even if they don't, after lying in the same bed and coaxing him tonight, they'll be glued together again tomorrow morning, changing faces faster than flipping pages. It's just tough for Brant. Such a good guy, could have liked anyone, but insists on liking a straight guy. Sigh, what a sin. Neither Brant nor I heard these words. As soon as we entered the bathroom, Brant turned on the shower. I was joking just now, Casper, get out. Brant called my name, his tone icy cold. He was truly angry. The words, I like you, were stuck in my throat. I shook my head. Not going out. You're still angry. I have to coax you. He looked at me like I was a fool. His gaze was too hot. My whole body heated up, and I began to undress uneasily. I'll wash with you, and check the mole on your thigh while I'm at it. Do you have a death wish? Brant suddenly pinned me against the tiled wall, staring at me with red eyes. I already apologized. Why are you still fierce to me? Brant's expression was a bit scary. I was a little afraid and squeezed out a few tears. Brant punched the wall behind me. My legs went soft from fear. Casper, the method you taught me is useless. His voice carried grievance, revealing sadness. He is very hard to chase. He doesn't like me at all, so that's why he was fierce to me. I felt even worse inside. This time, tears fell without needing to be squeezed out. I raised my hand, put it down, and finally raised it again. I hugged him and said, how about you like someone else instead? Like me. Brant lifted my chin. The gaze right before my eyes was deep, revealing seriousness. Don't want to change. I just like him. I kicked him. Then go hang yourself on that tree. Brant didn't like me and wouldn't like me. Brant was really annoying. I squirmed in his arms, wanting to squeeze the person in his heart out and stuff myself in. Brant is mine, can only be mine. Stop moving. Brant suddenly held me down, his voice a bit hoarse. I didn't listen and continued to rub against him. Casper, look at what you've done. Brant held my chin to make me look, and the tears on my face couldn't be held back anymore. Damn, Brant was holding me yet actually had a reaction because he was thinking of his crush. I ran away. In that situation, if I stayed any longer, I would definitely die of discomfort. The roommates weren't there. Probably went out to play somewhere again. I lay on the bed wiping away tears, mocking myself, despising myself, and then continuing to like Brant. Can't help it. I'm just this spineless. Falling for a straight guy is bad enough, but he's a straight guy with a crush on someone else. Brant came out, looking at me as if wanting to say something but stopping. I didn't want to discuss his crush. I asked in a muffled voice, "How do you plan to celebrate your birthday in a few days? In previous years, it was always just the two of us. What about this year?" Don't want to celebrate. He looked so good just after a shower, making it hard to look away. I hated that I wasn't in his eyes, but his abs weren't at fault. I stared at his abs and said, "That won't do. The birthday must be celebrated. And this year it had to be lively." Brant lay down on my bed. "How do you want to celebrate?" I scooted inward to make room for him. "As long as you're not absent. I'll listen to you." Chapter 4. On Brant's birthday, I invited the guys from our dorm to join us. We cut the cake, sang songs, drank, and played games. Brant was very obedient. He did whatever I said. During Truth or Dare, I rigged the game a little. "Casper, you lost again." The punishment was to kiss someone for 1 minute. My roommates looked at me, winking and making faces. Brant took a sip of the alcohol on the table, his fingers gripping the glass until they turned white. "Help me out." Before Brant could react, emboldened by the alcohol, I grabbed the back of his head and kissed him messily. I closed my eyes. The jeering of the crowd, the sound of Brant's breathing, and the thumping of my own heart all rang in my ears. Happily, I deepened this kiss that I had cheated to get. I was so drunk by the end that I didn't even know how we got back. In my daze, I felt something like jelly sliding into my mouth and then out again. I chased after it, and the jelly came back. The jelly chased back a bit fiercely, making me breathless. I woke up in a hotel room, holding Brant in my arms. Neither of us was wearing clothes. This was the scene of my dreams, yet my first instinct was to flee. Brant wasn't gay. If he woke up and found out what I'd done to him, he would definitely cut ties with me. I stumbled out of the hotel. Just as I was about to hail a taxi, a message from that pervert popped up. "BT, do you like your childhood friend?" Thinking of that kiss yesterday, my heart felt sweet, and even this pervert seemed a bit more tolerable. I smiled and replied, "Baby, yeah, I like my childhood friend. I've liked him for years. Baby. In my heart, he is the best. You can't even compare to a single finger of his. Baby, yesterday was his birthday. I confessed to him and we are already together. Baby, if you dare harass me again or send those disgusting photos, I'll let my husband deal with you." "What are you running for?" A hand grabbed me. Brant walked up from behind, looking at me with a gloomy expression. "Why didn't you sleep a little longer?" I almost dropped my phone and quickly locked the screen. The bite mark on Brant's neck was so obvious that it made me feel a bit guilty, but mostly happy. Brant frowned. "You ran away. So what was the point of me sleeping?" He seemed unhappy. "Why? Did you call a car? Let's go back together." Interrupted by the pervert's messages. I hadn't had time to call one yet. Not yet. The other side didn't reply for a long time. As Brant took out his phone to call a car, my screen lit up. "BT, I don't mind. I like 3 people. BT, besides, your childhood friend is excellent. I'd be happy to share wifey with him. BT. In the future, wifey can be in the middle, and your childhood friend and I will love you together. BT. One more person to love wifey. Hubby will be very happy." Lunatic. I glanced over and suddenly saw a familiar app flash on Brant's phone screen. I was stunned. "What is that?" I pointed at the puppy icon app on his desktop. "Prepared it for the person I like." Brant glanced at me. "You have it too." I hurriedly shook my head. "I don't. If I had one, I'd definitely make one for him too, just like that pervert did to me. make him confess to me and call me hubby. You. What's wrong? I looked at Brant's handsome face. Nosebleed. He lifted my chin. So awkward. No wonder I felt warm. I really wanted to find a crack in the ground to crawl into. We tacitly didn't mention what happened that day. He even told me that he found out the person he liked him back. He happily kissed me on the cheek. Hey, I wonder which lucky person caught his eye. Oh, wishing you 100 years of harmony and early birth of a son, I said with my head down. Brant and his crush had mutual feelings. Brant kissed me. How many steps does it take to steal someone's partner? Are you angry? I'm sorry. Ha! I looked up at Brant. He withdrew the hand that was holding me and looked at me somewhat helplessly. My brain spun fast. Brant cares about my emotions? Maybe forcing a pursuit would work too? Thinking that he might become my boyfriend, I couldn't help but smile. I'm too happy to be angry. Why would I be? Good. As long as you're not angry. You helped me. When I get married, you have to sit at the head table. I froze, the smile on my face unable to hold on any longer. Blow after blow. Even a love-struck brain would feel pain. I really couldn't find any more excuses for his lack of feelings for me. I forced a smile. Sure. I won't just sit at the head table. I want to sit on your grave, kissing me while liking someone else. Brant is a scumbag. I hate Brant. Not being friends with him anymore. Don't like him anymore. When Brant went out to pick up a package, I kicked his chair flying. Damn straight guy, damn scumbag. Brant is a big villain. Buzz buzz. Just after losing my temper, the phone on the table lit up. Damn. That pervert is back. He's haunting me like a ghost. I can't shake him off. I'm going crazy. BT. Wifey's lips are so sweet. Wifey's waist is so soft. Like wifey so much. It's been so long. Can't wifey say, I like you to hubby. Have we kissed? Have we touched? Just opening his mouth and saying whatever. I sneered. Baby, I like you costs 10,000. Thinking about how last time, for every compliment I gave Brant, this pervert transferred me $1,000, he was simply like a fool. I teased him on purpose. Being harassed for so long, it was only right to make him pay some mental damage fees. BT transfer 100,000. Voluntary gift. BT 10,000. Wifey needs to say it 10 times. Voice messages are fine. Me. Stunned. I really met a fool. Baby, hubby. I exited immediately after sending it and downloaded an anti-fraud app. This pervert was a bit off. Buzz buzz. BT image. It was a screenshot of Brant's interface. In the text box it was written, Idiot Casper is gay. He likes you, has liked you for a long time. BT wifey isn't allowed to run. If you don't say it, I'll tell Brant about you liking him. I'm counting to 3. BT 2. This bastard. Chapter 5. On the court, Class 1 and Class 2 were in the middle of a match. As the ace of Class 1, Brant sank a shot with an effortless flick of his wrist. But I wasn't in the mood to watch. My roommate nudged my shoulder. What are you thinking about? Nothing. Just zoning out. Brant is so amazing. Yet you're actually zoning out. He looked at me with a why aren't you trying harder expression. There are so many people in the stands staring at him. Aren't you afraid someone will snatch him away? The stands were packed with Brant's fans. He was excellent and loved by many. I had long gotten used to it. To hide the fact that I was gay, I casually said, I have his phone. He can't run far. My roommate sighed and went to buy water. Brant's phone spun around in my hand. I unlocked it, then locked it again. I wanted to open that app, the same one on my phone, but I didn't dare, afraid to see him whispering sweet nothings to some girl. After struggling with it for ages, I still didn't open the app. The whistle blew, and a cheer erupted in the gymnasium. Our class had won. When Brant walked over, many people handed him water. Feeling a pang of jealousy, I opened the water meant for him and took a few sips myself. He walked over and naturally took the water I had just drunk from and started drinking. He had refused everyone else's water just now. I was a bit surprised. Brant was a head taller than me. He bent down to look me in the eye. Can't I drink it? Sure you can. Consider it a reward. My face flushed, and I spoke without thinking. A sudden scream erupted from the crowd. The next day when Brant and I went out, I saw girls whispering and pointing at us. I looked at Brant. The corners of his mouth were slightly raised, and he seemed to be in a good mood. He smiled and said to me, I plan to confess to him. Confess. Brant was going to confess. Watching him look so happy all day, my heart felt like it was being pricked by needles. For the first time, I actively contacted that online pervert. Baby, he's gonna confess to someone else. Baby, coax me. If you make me happy, I'll be your wifey. Buzz buzz. Brant's phone rang. I glanced at it and said sourly, "Your wifey is looking for you." He gave me a meaningful look. I didn't know what was sent, but he was so happy he almost jumped out of his chair. Buzz buzz. The pervert's message pulled my attention back. BT. Transfer 520,000. I swallowed hard, staring at the screen and counting the zeros for a long time. Ones, tens, hundreds, thousands, 10,000s, a whole 520,000. This person must have brain damage. BT wifey needs to be happy. I couldn't help but ask, "Baby, is this bride price money?" BT, no, it's pocket money to coax wifey. Truly an evil rich person. I suddenly felt that besides talking nonsense, this pervert's only virtue was having a lot of money. In a moment of impulsiveness, I replied, "How about we meet up on the weekend?" Brant dressed up to the nines, and I also tidied myself up to look sharp. After I sent that message, Moneybags agreed immediately. With so many extra zeros in my bank account, I couldn't even sleep soundly at night. I planned to risk meeting him to return the money and lecture him while I was at it. If he refused to repent, I'd send him straight to the police station. I wasn't going to be subjected to these inexplicable threats anymore. "Where are you going?" Brant had been stealing glances at me for a while, and couldn't help but grab me and ask before I left. If he knew I liked men, he might hate me. If we couldn't be lovers, I didn't want to lose him as a friend either. "I'm going to meet my wifey." I tilted my head back and deliberately asked him in a nonchalant tone, "And you?" Brant smiled like a ripe apple. "Going to meet the person I've had a secret crush on for years." I cursed internally, but said, "Oh, hope you guys have 8 sons." Brant laughed until his shoulders shook, reaching out to pat my head. "Thank you. Thank my ass." I refused to believe he couldn't hear the sarcasm. I slapped his hand away and walked out the door without looking back. Walking to the door of the private room at the restaurant, I found Brant actually following me. Afraid he would run into Moneybags, I hurriedly tried to shoo him away. "Aren't you going to meet your crush? Why are you following me?" "I'm not following you. I agreed to meet my crush right here." Brant walked straight into the private room I had booked. I chased after him. "Hey, you got it wrong, bro. This is the room I booked. I'm meeting my wifey." Brant ignored me, closed the door, and stuffed the flowers he was holding into my hands. This was the first time he had ever given me roses. I hugged them tightly without thinking. "Once it's in my hands, it's mine." I teased him on purpose. "I'll give them to my wifey later. They were meant for you anyway." And Brant suddenly dropped to his knees with a thud in front of me. He looked at me innocently and said, "I am your wifey." I was completely stunned. Brant had definitely gone crazy. I paced around the private room anxiously. "Didn't you say you were straight?" Chapter 6. The year I first understood what love was, I fell for Brant. When we graduated high school, I gathered my courage to confess to him, but someone beat me to the punch. At the stairwell, a boy in a school uniform thrust flowers forward, head bowed and eyes closed, saying, "Brant, I like you." Before he could finish, Brant interrupted him. "Sorry, I'm straight. I don't like guys." He was straight. He didn't like guys. Even if it was me, Casper, it was a no-go. Rejecting that boy was equivalent to rejecting me. I turned to leave, but I hadn't taken more than a few steps when the class monitor suddenly popped up. Holding a huge bouquet of roses, he said to me, "Casper, I like you. Will you be my boyfriend?" The monitor was a guy too, but not as good-looking as Brant. Mimicking Brant's tone, I said, "Sorry, I don't like guys." As the footsteps behind me faded away, I whispered softly, "I only like Brant." The monitor was unconvinced. "But isn't he a guy too?" I shook my head with a bitter smile. "He's different." I was only rejecting him. Brant knelt on the ground, looking completely aggrieved. "I didn't expect you to hear that. I ran up wanting to explain to you, but then I heard you say you didn't like guys. I was afraid you'd hate me, so I gave up." I was shaking with anger. "So you played me online? Watching me run around in circles for you was fun, wasn't it?" Brant looked at me guiltily. He was a completely different person from the serious Brant I usually knew. "That's because I liked you too much. I couldn't help treating you like that online. I wasn't playing you. When I heard you say you liked Brant, I was thrilled." Brant hugged my legs, his voice deadly gentle. "Wifey, I'm sorry. It's my fault. You can hit me or scold me. Even if you want to take photos of me, that's fine too. Don't be angry, okay? Being angry is bad for your health. Was I angry? Of course I was. We missed out on so many years because of a misunderstanding. And he had teased me online for so long. How could I not be angry? Was I happy? Also yes, Brant's crush was me. That pervert turned out to be Brant. Angry and happy at the same time, my mind was a mess. Get lost. I don't like you at all. On the way back, Brant kept trying to coax me. The word wifey rolled off his tongue constantly. I was so angry I slapped him across the face. Brant slapped himself on the other cheek. He even grabbed my hand and asked if it hurt. I ignored him. Back at the dorm, our roommates noticed something was off and asked what happened. I sneered. Got bitten by a dog. Brant, go stay out somewhere tonight. I'm covering the costs. Me. Who wants to go stay out with you, you damn pervert? Roommate. You got it, Brant. The roommates and Brant all looked at me. Suddenly realizing something, I laughed out of anger. No wonder they often didn't come home at night, claiming they lived close by. They had clearly been bribed by Brant. You guys talk it out. No fighting, one said. After speaking, they immediately pushed their chairs in and left, vanishing from the dorm in an instant. I sneered. Pretty rich, huh? Brant took out his bank card and stuffed it into my pocket. What's mine is yours. I don't like you anymore. You don't need to suck up to me. Brant knelt down for me again like a crazy person. One word. Satisfying. You say you don't like me, but I know you mean the opposite. I speak my mind directly. I just don't like you anymore. I held my head up arrogantly. He played me. I had to teach him a lesson. Brant nuzzled my leg. Did you wish that pervert was someone else? I gave you my phone. I replied to your messages right in front of your face. Me. Did I have to admit I was stupid? No way. If you don't forgive me, I'm going to find someone else. This dog has some nerve. You dare. I grabbed him by the collar, looking like I was going to eat him alive. Brant smiled triumphantly. Damn. Brant actually used reverse psychology on me. I punched him in frustration. I wanted to teach him a lesson, but in front of him, I was just a little fool. I completely couldn't outsmart this guy Brant. Can't you just coax me a little more? Coax, of course I'll coax you. Seeing my anger subside a bit, Brant stood up and hugged me. How about I coax you for the rest of my life? That's more like it. Brant and I got together. That person who seemed so serious finally revealed his true colors. Wifey became his catchphrase, hanging on his lips from morning to night. He called me that so much that now, whenever I hear those two words, I respond reflexively. Brant is a tormenting little demon, but he's my little demon. I've saved all those private photos he sent me properly. Thinking back to how I used to guess he had someone else in his heart, and even secretly cursed that lucky person, I couldn't help but laugh out loud. Turns out that the idiot Brant liked was actually me. Early birth of a son. Have 8 sons. No wonder he laughed when he heard that. The more I thought about it, the angrier I got. I couldn't help but slap Brant on the face again. It was all his fault. Wifey Brant looked up, his eyes full of obsession. I love you so much. So much. All right, for the sake of his sincerity, I'll take back those curses. I wiped the corner of his mouth for him and replied. I know. I love you too, hubby. Extra 1 Brant's POV. I like Casper, even though he doesn't like guys and doesn't like me as a person. But I just really like him. As long as he looks at me with those aggrieved eyes, I have zero resistance. Sending him those messages was the result of careful consideration, not a moment of impulse. I wanted to tell him everything I wanted to say. As long as he saw it, that was enough. Him blocking me and deleting me were all within my expectations. So when he actually replied, I was truly surprised. Even if he was cursing at me, it made me happy for a long time. Climbing into his bed in the middle of the night was intentional. Kissing him was instinct. Touching him was instinct. Loving him was even more so instinct. Brant loves Casper the most. When will that dummy realize how much I like him? Casper actually tried to teach me how to chase him, only to find out that he himself is the hardest one to chase. No matter what sweet nothings I said, he remained unmoved. But I just like him. What can I do? When Casper came to confront me with his phone, I thought he had discovered my pervert behavior. I was ready to come clean, but it turned out to be a misunderstanding. It turned out he wanted to tell me that he didn't like me. Casper, you mean I already have no resistance to him, yet he kept squirming around in my arms. See, something happened, and he ran away again. Casper is so bad. But on my birthday he kissed me, and not just a light peck. Actually, Casper isn't that bad. The wifey in my arms is so cute. I really like him so much. What should I do? He seems to like me too. What to do? My heart is beating so fast. Transferring money to him. I didn't dare give too much, afraid he'd think I was a criminal and call the police. I really wanted to kiss him. Couldn't help but kiss him, and found he was acting a bit strange, seemingly very nervous. Turns out there were so many misunderstandings between us. Now I'm sure. He likes me a little too. No, not just a little. He really likes me. Confirmed. Casper loves Brant. Casper is mine. My wifey. I never have to like him secretly again. I'm so happy. I hope everyone can get what they want. Just like me. Extra 2. I returned Brant's bank card to him, but he wouldn't take it. Thinking of how lavishly he spent money, I couldn't help but ask, "How many zeros are in here?" Brant said, "Never counted, but I only have one of you. Aren't we all ordinary people?" I narrowed my eyes. "Where did you get so much money? Stole it? Robbed it?" Brant shook his head. "Didn't steal or rob. Most of it I earned myself. A small part was given by my parents. They are actually wealthy people. I only found out the year I graduated high school." "What? Brant's family is wealthy. Since my mom and his mom are besties, is it possible that I am also a young master worth hundreds of millions?" Brant kissed my cheek. "In my heart, you are priceless. That goes without saying." When I went home for the holidays, I shouted as soon as I entered the door, "Mom, I know. Dad is the CEO, you are the CEO's wife. When are you going to pass the family fortune to me?" My mom came out of the kitchen holding a spatula. "Son, you know?" I swallowed hard. "Mom, do we really have a fortune to inherit?" Realizing I had tricked her, my mom rolled her eyes and went back to the kitchen, looking a bit guilty. After my repeated questioning, my mom finally admitted it. "My family has mines. Literally. I lived an ordinary life since childhood just because they wanted to toughen me up. They apologized to me, but I hugged them, grinning from ear to ear. It's okay, it's okay. As long as we have mines, it's fine." Smacking my lips, I rolled over and slept even more soundly. If you enjoyed this story, remember to subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much.